So, it's a bit curious, but I had sex with 5 men the day before yesterday. All at once. Oh my goodness, exactly. That, well, I should say, they are co-workers of mine. A bit worse. Yes. I work in a bakery and confectionery. So they were confectioners and bakers. I am a bakery sales assistant. I work at the front of the shop. But how did it come to this? You don't just go to bed with 5 colleagues. You're probably wondering about the age structure. Not too bad. Well, I'm 24. Yes, and the men are between 24 and 30. So, how did it happen? 5 men. Yes, it was like this. For almost a year and a half I have been constantly annoyed, and between so many men it's not easy to stand up for oneself. But there are several other women in sales too. Yes, there are several people in sales. So, we always rotate. But I always have to stand up for myself, and it's a bit hard being a girl. So, I made the guys hot, for quite a while. But it was also because I was always annoyed in a certain way. So. And then I said, I won't take it anymore. Exactly. So, I don't want to be annoyed here. Exactly. Now you all got to go to bed with me. No, it was like this. There were always these typical mom jokes going around that were below the belt and so on. So, I could work with my hands, but not with my mouth. Very, very harsh jokes. How did it happen? Well, it was like this. I then said, guys, wouldn't you like to come over for a spaghetti night? And so the whole thing started. I said, I need big pots of spaghetti bolognese. Then we said, yes, we're up for a spaghetti night. At first, it was a bit questionable. First, 3 agreed. Yes. And then, the other 2 also said they would come to the spaghetti. But the guys were not all single. No. So, from a spaghetti night, it turned into a hot sex night. Yes, it was like this. So they all came one after another, yes. Some were late. Yes. The spaghetti was on the table, and I also had help in our kitchen, so there was absolutely no problem at all. And no other girl was there. No. Just us. And the guys helped out. The men helped out. Yes. And then, after we were done eating, I went to the bathroom and put on some very hot lingerie. And said, guys, now. It was kind of a real kick for me. And at that moment I said, I've had enough. I dressed up super sexy and I was already made up. And then I came out, and you wouldn't believe how they looked. All of them couldn't close their mouths. They hadn't expected that at all. Not at all. There I was standing in lingerie, after having delicious spaghetti, and then I stood in lingerie in front of the guys. Yes, exactly. It was really awesome. Yes, one of the men, he brought tiramisu. That was very well received. Yes, and then it started, the music played. I turned it up a bit louder. There was also a lot of alcohol involved. And then slowly, well, I let the clothes fall, let's say, I stripped. And then 2 of them came up to me. And they undressed me quite quickly. It happened pretty fast. And then it all ended in an orgy. Absolutely, yes. We even moved the table aside. Did I like it? It was amazing. It was unbelievably hot. That is also too little. On Saturday, yes, it is planned again. However, possibly even 2 more friends might come along. Listen, it's quite a crazy story. You are co-workers after all. That complicates the work relationship. That's the problem. So, I've been there again, of course. But that was the day before yesterday. Exactly. So, that was, well, yesterday and today was normal working hours. Don't you feel a bit awkward with each other, and isn't it a bit weird? Actually, not awkward at all anymore. It's just that now obviously something quite different is in the air. So, we all know each other quite differently now. And yes, It comes to this, one of them has fallen in love with me again. He's putting me under pressure now in this whole series, let's say. Or what it means not for me, but for him. Oh, so he wants to blackmail you somehow? Yes, it's like this, Lucas. He had a digital camera and took pictures of us, of the whole thing, and of me very extreme. Yes. And could these photos harm me? Yes, that's the problem. I don't know. He said to me indirectly, yes, he would otherwise show the photos to our boss, MHM. And he's very conservative. But the guys are also in it, not just me. But what I do in my private time is up to me, as long as we work properly. Yes, he only meant he would show some photos where obviously the other people are not in them. Just me specifically, and in which actions I was then so involved. Do I consider it a bluff, or is he the kind of person that would do it? Well, I don't know. MHM. That's the thing. So, if I'm now unsure and this whole thing seems to be evolving from fun into a complicated entanglement, then I wouldn't repeat it. Yes, it was of course such a super kick. It's also called, I believe, a gangbang, right? Yes, I think so. But I've never done anything like that before. So it's the very first time that I've let myself be pampered by so many men. Yes. No, I don't want to tell the details, you can probably imagine it directly. But was it exactly as we imagine it, right? It was incredible. We all rushed into the bathroom and I stood under the shower. Yes. So, I have a bathtub. Yes. And then it continued under the shower and in the bathtub. Yes. And it was incredibly beautiful. No, at that time I didn't have a boyfriend. Yes, I'm glad about that. If that were the case now, then we would have a big problem. No, heaven forbid. No, it's just that I find one of the 5 quite interesting, but I feel he is sexually fixated on me. MHM. If I am only interested in such sexual practices, I should look for forums where there is nothing wrong with that, MHM. Perhaps not directly at work. I really risk my job. And the atmosphere in the company, that's a very sensitive area, when you're involved with co-workers. That's just happened once. Maybe we can sweep it under the rug and that was it. There's always something, you can already see now, that it's difficult with the photos. Why did I let myself be photographed? I barely noticed at the beginning. Not at all at first. And then at some point, I noticed that there was this little silver thing. But the other men must have also noticed that one of them was taking pictures. Yes, but they were all so drunk. They were more fixated on me, let's say. They were like, oh God, now I want to have a go too. But they will probably also be plunged into big conflicts now, after they are sober. If they have girlfriends, are in relationships, it's not easy for them either. That I have such moral considerations, let's say. And the 5, they actually, in my opinion, have no problem, except for the one, who, is not in love, and I'm not into him. Well, I should clarify my position. But for Saturday, it's already fixed and it's like, I get 5 really hot men. Full risk. If the one who has fallen in love with me comes again, he's coming too. And there's the thing with the photos, right? Difficult story. But I have now discovered something for myself. Yes, I said, I've never done it before, but in that way. I've already talked a few times with girls who have discovered this for themselves and were quite thrilled. Yes.